Hi, it's Xename here from Xename Limited. Today I wanted to talk to you about liminal space. It's one of those places where a lot of my clients would kind of contact me when they're in liminal space, not consciously knowing what actually it is. And it's one of those areas that even as kind of coaches and consultants, we need to know, we need to understand it, as well as leaders as well. And the reason that I think it's useful for me to talk about this at the moment is because we're collectively in a liminal space. So for even if you're not necessarily affected by something personally, we're all affected by the pandemic. So it gives you, you've got kind of a framework with which to look at liminal space in a slightly different way, because we're looking at it as a collective. So what does liminal space, what is it? So think of two rooms. So there's like a room here and a room here. And the liminal space is like a threshold. So this is like an in-between space between the two rooms. So if we put it into context of the pandemic, what we find is right now, the life as we've known it has ended. So we've left one room, and the life that we will go on to lead at some point has not quite started. So therefore, we're in this threshold point. So it could be, obviously I'm looking at it from a pandemic point of view, but we could be looking at it from the point of view of when we get married, or when we start a new job, or when we go up a level in our career. We don't just step directly into that position and fully inhabit it. What we find is we kind of tentatively step into that place, and then we evolve and we emerge into it. So it doesn't just happen overnight. And so it's worth kind of spending some time thinking about what liminal space actually looks like and how we actually experience it. Because it's actually a period of time when something has ended or disappeared, but something new, the new life or the new way of being or the new process or the new you that needs to emerge has not quite actually happened yet. It's a deep and profound space. So it's deep and it's profound and it's complex. Because one of the things that we experience in this space is a loss of identity. And from an ego perspective, that's a huge thing. So we don't like losing our identity, because it's our sense of who we are, and it helps us feel safe in terms of how we navigate the world. So once we lose that, that can make us feel quite insecure, and kind of take us into kind of some perhaps old stuff that we've not quite resolved. So it can be very complex. But it also can be quite comforting as well, because it's almost like a pause, a breathing point, a kind of we're not quite ready to step in, but we've also stepped out of something as well. And it's a process in which we kind of releasing things that we no longer need in terms of going forward. And it's also kind of a letting go and surrendering to what's maybe emerging. So this is like the emerging future that we can't quite see yet. And this is the past. What I'm going to do over the next couple of videos is actually go into it a little bit more detail in terms of how do we navigate this space, and also as consultants, how do we hold that space for our clients as well, and even kind of leaders, how are we holding that space right now for ourselves first and foremost, but also then once we can hold that for ourselves, how do we actually hold that for the people that actually work for us. So it's Xename Limited. Thank you.